There's been no reporting if that injury was caused by him carrying the team on his back on Sunday. News on Christian McCaffrey. He's headed to Germany to see one of the German specialists.
So PRP, right? That's usually what that is?
German specialists for athletes, 100% approval rate.
Yeah, but it also usually means there's something significant going on.
Right.
It's usually, I agree with you, it's effective, but it usually isn't like, well, I'm going to fly from San Francisco to Germany just on a lark. There's usually a reason for it. But go ahead.
I love that we never know who it is.
Who's a German doctor? You know?
It's like some guy. Okay, sorry. Oh, the 49ers.
No Dr. James Andrews.
No, it's just a German guy.
Yeah, they're like literally falling apart.
Literally.
Well, their arms are falling off?
Like literally.
Pumped why he has to go.
You really hate to see it because this is a really good team, and I know a lot of people think that I don't like the 49ers, and that's just not true.
So you just like your take being right, and you pick
right.
the playoffs.
It's not.
I don't blame
you know, it's not even that I like this take being right because it's almost as if I was rooting for this team to get injured.
No.
But, like you go back to what history tells you, and they got a lot of older players, very effective players, very talented players, but they all, for the most part, have injury history and concerns. And so last year, you get through all of last year pretty much unscathed. And I just didn't believe that they would be able to do that again. I was listening to Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark, good friend, obviously, had a chance. Thank you, Ryan, for the Super Bowl. He said, I mean, I only say it because
go ahead.
he said something that really registered to me. He said, that's why when you get your opportunity,
you gotta take it.
You gotta win it, and because you just never know. You never know. Everybody automatically assumes. Every media pundit, every talking head, across the league, teams across the league. If you ask teams across the league who they felt like was going to be in the playoffs and who was going to be one of the better teams, unanimous.
Weren't they the favorite?
49ers.
That's why Vegas is on the board, because they were the favorite to win the whole thing.
And so, like, for me, it's unfortunate, but I will say this really quick. I think this might be the best thing for your guy, Brock Purdy.
Well, we'll find out.
Because he's really, I'm not talking about the wins, but he's really showing any and everyone that doubted him, I can still be effective and I can still be a really good quarterback. May not get the win, which I don't think a lot of people will get wins with this many guys out.
Well, I mean, I would imagine since CMC's out, the Purdy's 0-2, and the only stat that matters to some. So since CMC's out, he's struggled.
Yeah, he hasn't won a game.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So don't call me the doubter. I thought he played well this week.
I'm going to piggyback off what Greg said, and I hope this doesn't come off the wrong way. I still believe they can make the playoffs. But I do, because I think these guys, most of them, I don't know about Christian McCaffrey, but the other guys I think will be back at some point. But I do think this kind of going to be a reset year, even if they make the playoffs. And I think that might be good. Remember, I've talked about 6 straight years of coming close and not getting over the hump. I think the emotional toll that takes, that's why I got them on Funk Watch, because it's like, that just is an emotional toll. And next year, so you have this year where guys are banged up.
But next
maybe
year
you make
them much
talent. No, but still, they'll still have some of the talent. They'll still have a good amount of talent.
I don't know.
And everybody, I think, attitudinally will be refreshed. Like, okay, let's get it'll be fresh rather than we keep getting close. Regular season doesn't matter.
Last year was a great chance. This year is supposed to be their best chance with this much talent.
Super Bowl or bust.
They were the ultimate S-Bob
they're
team.
all banged up.
And the underlying major story about the Niners is the defense isn't good. And that never has been the case since Shanahan's been there. I know he's not defensive.
He's like a heavyweight championship belt.
Sure, that was worth 40 seconds.
I didn't know it was going to be I thought it was interesting. He's like the idea of the honesty. A little bit long. We could have run inside the park home run again. Let's go. Bill Belichick talking about the boat.
There you go.
Well,
on
Pat McAfee's program, and Belichick was responding to Mahomes saying he could play better, despite being 3-0. Here's what Bill Belichick said. Mahomes talking about how bad they're playing and how much harder they need to work and improve. That's the attitude of a champion right there. I said this yesterday. Just fellow 2 great Patriots. It just jumps off the screen at you. All right, so is anyone or is it fair to be concerned about Kansas City's offense like Mahomes is?
Well, look, after last year, you're never going to write the Chiefs off unless they just don't make the playoffs. All right, so last year they looked as bad as they could look in the regular season, and obviously we know what happened. So take this in context. I think besides being 3-0, which is great, the two bright spots offensively, Carson Steele with the 72 yards in the last game against Atlanta shows that they're going to have a good run game, no matter who's the running back. All right, so that's good. And then Rashee Rice, who is playing as well as any receiver in the league, leads the league in yards after catch. The big concern, though, would be that the two superstars aren't playing well, mainly Patrick Mahomes. And Nick, like you, I picked Mahomes to be the MVP. He still may do that. But this is the worst, to me, he's looked in his career. And you see these numbers. These are all career lows. His interception percentage, he's thrown more interceptions than anyone except Anthony Richardson and Will Levis. They're the only two with more picks than Patrick. Yards per game, obviously a career low, and his passer rating. So, of course, I think he'll bounce back. But that's just something that makes you go, man, that's odd that Mahomes is playing so poorly.
Yeah, I'm not concerned.
Thank you.
I'm not concerned at all. Like, really quick, we all have kids. Like, it's like when your kid does something and you're going to discipline them and they come before you get ready to discipline them and they just own everything. Dad, I should have never done that. I recognize how poor of a decision I made, and it's like, I can't really get on you the way.
Can I take that analogy a step further? It's if what they did was screw up in school, and it's like, what's your GPA? And it's like, I've got 100 on every test. Yeah. And it's like, oh, okay, but what about extra credit? It's like, well, it's the second most in the class because this terrible Chiefs offense is second in the AFC in points to the Bills. They have played the league's toughest schedule. They're 3-0. They've scored, 25 points or 23 points in every game at least? Like, I know Wild's like Mahomes is concerned, so you can be concerned. I actually look at it quite differently. I think Mahomes is the only person who's allowed to be concerned because he's going to be so self-critical. He's going to be concerned no matter what. Again, everyone thinks that it seems like something wrong with the Chiefs' offense. They are second in the conference in points. Not record, not point differential, in points. And so and Brew mentioned it, they have a legit number one receiver. Legitimate number one receiver. So if they're playing this way with Mahomes having the worst stretch of football you're saying of his career, then no, there's no reason. I don't know if I think it's the worst stretch of his career. I thought the second game of the season against Cincinnati was the worst game of his career, and that drags everything down.
The Ravens game, he was great.
Yeah, he was great in the Ravens game, and I thought he was okay in the Falcons game and awful in the Bengals game.
I'm waiting for the Travis breakout game. That's it.
Well, you're going to be waiting a long time. They're saving it. He's saving it. It wasn't a coincidence he was great in the playoffs.
It was like a heavyweight championship belt.
I'm sure that was worth 40 seconds of it.
I didn't know it was going to be I thought it was interesting. He's like the idea of the honesty. A little bit long. We're going to run inside the park home run again. Let's go. Bill Belichick talking about the boat.
There you go.
Well,
yeah,
on Pat McAfee's program, and Belichick was responding to Mahomes saying he could play better, despite being 3-0. Here's what Bill Belichick said. Mahomes talking about how bad they're playing and how much harder they need to work and improve. That's the attitude of a champion right there. I said this yesterday. Just fellow two great Patriots. It just jumps off the screen at you. All right, so is anyone or is it fair to be concerned about Kansas City's offense? There has been no reporting if that injury was caused by him carrying the team on his back on Sunday. News on Christian McCaffrey. He's headed to Germany to see one of the German specialists.
So PRP, right? That's usually what that is?
German specialists for athletes, 100% approval rate.
Yeah, but it also usually means there's something significant going on.
Right.
It's usually I agree with you, it's effective, but it usually isn't like, well, I'm going to fly from San Francisco to Germany just on a lark. There's usually a reason for it.
Okay. Go ahead. I love that we never know who it is.
Who's a German doctor?
It's like some guy. Okay, sorry. Oh, the 49ers.
No Dr. James Andrews.
No, it's just a German guy.
Yeah, they're like literally falling apart.
Literally.
Well, their arms are falling off?
Like, literally.
Pumped why he has to go.
You really hate to see it because this is a really